What's going on, Twitch and YouTube? This is Wednesday Night Vintage with the Mythic Society. If you have never played a Mythic Society event before, this month and this month only, they're giving out free entry to all of their events. So, make sure you check out them on Twitter, trying to get into their Discord and play some Vintage with me for free this month. All of their events, would be pretty awesome. Today is June 2nd, which means it is one day before Modern Horizons 2 drafts start on Magic Online. Which means that though the Modern Horizons cards are technically on Magic Online and can be found in treasure chests, they are not widely available and are basically impossible to find. We might run into some players tonight who opened a bunch of treasure chests and have some Modern Horizons 2 cards, but I do not have any. So we have our very last Strixhaven brew tonight. I've seen a bunch of people having fun in historic and modern with Velomachus Lorehold, the red-white Elder Dragon from Strixhaven, who looks at the top 7 on attacks and casts instant or sorcery with mana value less than or equal to the power of the Elder Dragon. This works particularly well with Time Warp in other formats. In Vintage, we have access to all kinds of Time Walk and Time Warp effects. I think the sweet spot number is 7, though I don't know. 7 gives you pretty good chances of hitting a Time Walk on your Velomachus attack. So which ones are we playing? We're playing Time Walk, obviously. Time Walk obviously is broken. But then we're playing 6 captures of Jing. Oh boy, I sure hope I'm not pronouncing that one wrong. Jingzhao? Jinzhao? It might not even be a J sound. I could be completely wrong. Sorry. I know I am doing that wrong, so I apologize. But temporal manipulation and capturing the city in, I assume this is Portal. But these are time warp effects that cannot be misdirected. So Time Warp says target player takes an extra turn, and there's some misdirection gamers out and about right now with Chubby Rain being a big influence. I do not want my extra turns taken by my opponent. So we are playing 7 Time Walk effects, and these are the 6 that I chose to go with my Time Walk. What else did I do? Well, you might notice you've probably seen this list before, and that's because I just took Maharu Oath, which is the go-to rug control oath list, and I made slight tweaks to better facilitate my Velomachus plan. So obviously I cut Grizzlebrand into Mizzet to play Velomachus, and then what I did was I added a bunch of Wrenn and 6s, because what Wrenn and 6 does is it allows you to continually hit your land drop so that you can actually do hard casts of this these time walks, and also lets you do activations on your time walk turns. So something that happens frequently is you oath in a Velomachus, you take an extra turn, you continue making your land drops, and maybe you hard cast one that you have accidentally drawn. So we have 3 Wrenn and 6 and 3 Okos. The correct number might be 4 Wrenn and 6, 4 Okos, but I own 3 Wrenn and 6, so we went with 3 Wrenn and 6, and it's been pretty fine. It's a little hard to cast. I also put in Wasteland Strip Mine so that we're a little bit better against Oath, and we have like a plan B where we can Wrenn and 6 lock our opponents, which is, I think, a little helpful. The good spells that I cut in order to facilitate these extra 6 time walks are things like 4th Oko, 2nd and 3rd third and 4th Pyroblast, mostly interaction. So we become more combo centric, but we lack interaction compared to Maharu's Oath list. This sideboard is exactly the same as Maharu's last Oath list. So basically, I took a working shell, I cut some good cards, put in some bad cards, and it makes it more fun. I played 2 leagues with this. We went 4-1 in both leagues, losing to Dredge twice. I don't know. I have like 10 cards for Dredge, and I still can't ever beat it. And I guess maybe we're more like 7-3 because we technically lost to the Power 9 in one game, but I think they conceded because they were 0-4. Unlucky, really. But yeah, so I took an actively working list, and we made it worse by adding a bunch of 5-drop time walks and some worse Grizzlebrands. But it's pretty fun. It's a good time. So hopefully tonight that will be the case. Yeah, I mean their Patreon is free this month, so you have the code to enter any of these tournaments. So just go check out the Mythic Society, and you can enter any of their tournaments using their Patreon code for the month of June. You do not have to be actively signed up this month. Or maybe you have to be actively signed up, but you have the code. I'm not exactly sure how it works. All I know is if you would normally have paid, you've never tried Mythic Society before, they're giving the people who have never played in a Mythic Society event the option to play for free. So, all right, I will look that up and we will get better at it. Why is there a Gaia's Blessing? I actually found the Gaia's Blessing to be pretty good. It's a pretty typical card in Maharu Oath where you don't want to draw out with your Niv Mizzet and Grizzlebrand, and it lets you like continually loop through your deck. It actually works pretty well in this deck because what you can do is you can flip over your second Velomachus, trigger Gaia's Blessing, and put some of your Time Walks back into your deck, giving you a higher chance of hitting your Time Walks on your future attacks. So it actually works out pretty well in this deck. Anything else from chat? Yeah, I didn't play Savor the Moment because I figured that the 5-mana Time Walks were just better. And yes, I don't have Modern Horizons 2 cards as of right now. So let's see if we can find our round 1 opponent. Okay, welcome to round 1 of this Mythic Society event. Let me turn on the record text here. We are not currently 2-1. We are currently 0-0. My opponent tonight for round 1 is Tyler. Tyler is playing... Well, it looks like a pretty straightforward Oath list. We have Max Moxen, Grizzlebrand, Niv Mizzet, Oko, Dak, Narset. Sylvan Library is an interesting one. 4 Fluster, 4 Blast, that's a lot. As well as this Pierce, a Daze, and a Veil. So it's like a Maharu Oath list, but there's a little bit more going on. 15 land. Yeah, so it's very close to a Maharu Oath list, but looks like there's some personal tuning with things like Sylvan Library and Dak Faden. So Oath mirrors are particularly challenging, not very straightforward. So we'll see what we can put together here. Okay. This hand has 2 of our Time Walks in it that we don't really want. Does have a Force and a Narset, but I think this hand is just kind of medium. It doesn't even have any Forbidden Orchards. In the Oath Mirror, it's very important that you have more Forbidden Orchards than your opponent. You don't really want to be the first person casting Oath. You want to be the person with more Forbidden Orchards. I think I'm going to mulligan this hand. This looks like better. We have access to early cantrips. We can put away this 5-drop, and that's probably for the best. Let's see what opponent has going for them. Nothing. Red and 6 is probably a pretty good one in this matchup as well. I am going to start with just preordaining. If they want to counter it, so be it. Forbidden Orchard and Wasteland. I want both of these magic cards. The reason I want both of these magic cards is because if my opponent drops an Oath, I want to be able to fight over the number of creatures in play. Oath is a symmetrical effect, so in the Oath Mirror, it's kind of about who has more creatures in play. And then I want the Wasteland because I think my plan in this game is going to be try to resolve Ren and 6 and Wasteland lock my opponent. My opponent has no basics. I also have no basics. So if my opponent jams an Oko here, it's not great for us, but we still have a Pyroblast to kill it, so it's not too bad. Which I assume is what they're doing. They're already down to 4 cards in hand. Here is an Oko. And then I doubt they would turn this Emerald up. If we played an Oath, things would be pretty bad for them. Oko is weird because Oko facilitates a fair game plan and kind of skirts around the idea of Oath of Druids. But it could trigger Oath for me, so it's a little bit odd. I think I am going to just blast while they're tapped out. This prevents it from being Flusterstormed, and basically they need to have Force of Will or Mental Misstep. See what happens. We definitely are in a little bit of trouble if they force this, which they did have force. I kind of want my own Oath now. Gaia's Blessing, Pearl, Narset. Yeah, these cards don't look very good. Narset's not terrible, but they also have 4 blasts, and they have active the ability to attack Narset. I think I'm just going to shuffle. That time walk is not terrible either. Thank you, Dr. Bill, for the 6 months. Much appreciated. Yeah, I didn't want to get hit by the misdirection gamers tonight. All right, so they have decided that they're willing to attack with elks. This is nice because they're attacking me, or they're clocking me, but it has a downside in that if I play an Oath of Druids, I then have the ability to trigger the Oath of Druids. Of course, I've drawn my 7-mana dragon instead, which is not great, but what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna start with Time Walk. I guess I could start with Ren and 6, but I kind of need to make my way to spells that matter. I guess theoretically this can get Flusterstormed, which would be not good for me. So maybe I'm supposed to just lead with Ren and 6 anyways. I kind of just want to use this Ren and 6 to get back a fetch land and actually just try to make my way up to attacking with this card. It's not ideal by any means, but I think it's gonna be better for us than wastelanding our opponent, especially because our opponent doesn't even have red sources anyways. And they can just kill our Ren and 6. But I think that's fine. Gains us some life and gives us an additional... Maybe we don't need it. 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess we need one more land anyways. I don't know. We're in a little bit of a rough spot, unfortunately. I really was hoping for our Pyroblast to have resolved. Right, all they can do is force the dragon, and then it has to hit a time walk, or it becomes it becomes an elk. But not the worst thing in the world. I do have enough mana to eventually play this dragon in 2 turns, and I won't be clocked out by then, so... Well, I guess that's not exactly true. I'll go to 14. They make Emerald into an elk. I assume they kill my Ren and 6. They did hit their red land, so they now have access to Dakvaden and Pyroblast. If they hit one more land, they have Hardcast Force. Yep, this is what we assumed. And I assume these both attack Ren, but I could see them attacking us. Nope, they both attack Ren. I want to crack. Yeah, I do. I'm gonna crack at least one of these. Oh, we hit the Oath. That's kind of interesting. So that will just do it as well. So here's a Force of Will check. So that doesn't really get us a turn early or anything like that, but at least it was already resolved. So we're kind of on... We're kind of on... Time Walker bust, and we've only have 6 left in our deck. My opponent, I don't know if they realized it was open deck list, but I don't think they would have played this game any differently. So I will use my opponent's creatures to... What does that do? It's kind of interesting. I can't block with it. I guess I didn't expect this to happen. I don't think I would have... Yeah, no, that's just fine. I don't think that's good for them, because it gives me a blocker for later. A Braid on... Oh, I'm glad I played my Forbidden Orchard. Sure. So my opponent's trying to get... So Oath does not trigger. However, they don't have a Forbidden Orchard, and I do. So although they killed one of their own creatures and made my thing a creature, I still have the Orchard, which I played, which means I will still get an Oath trigger. So at least we played correctly. All right, so I'm gonna flop over my deck. I'm gonna put Gaia's Blessing and put it all back in my deck, so that we're back to 7 time walks, which is nice. I don't think there's any reason for us to attack Oko. I want to just see if I can chain 4 time walks and kill my opponent. We drew another Oath, so that's definitely a dead draw. Attacking with the Emerald is not very good, as it just lets them chump away the Spirit, so we're just going to swing with this Dragon Lord and try to find some time walks. I could technically attack with this Emerald, in which case they could block with Spirit, but that would be like really... I guess we always have this Forbidden Orchard, so maybe it's okay. We can always put another creature on the battlefield for them. Okay, I guess we'll attack with this Emerald too. Alright, so first 7 cards, looking for a Time Walk. We found one. We found a Temporal Manipulation, so we'll cast that. It's nice that they're tapped out of Pyroblast, so they can't counter that. What I think I'm going to do is crack and get another land out of my deck. And I'm going to play out my land drop for turn and just go to our next turn. And I'm not going to activate my Orchard so that I can make another hit in here. I guess a cool thing is if they turn this into an Elk, I have another one. Hey, Aaron. All right, attack. Trigger. Just looking for one more Time Walk, and we found an actual Time Walk, so we can cast that. And now we have very lethal. Woo! It's so fun. I really like it. I really, really like it. All right. So, Oath Mirror. From what I learned from watching Miharu's videos, 2 oaths go out, but not all your oaths go out. I'm gonna bring in 2 Claim and a Veil. I think I'm just gonna get rid of Flusterstorm. No. It's not a Miharu creation. What I did was I took Miharu's list and I made it bad. I took a working list and I cut 6 good cards and put in, or I guess I cut 9 good cards and I put in 6 bad cards. I must have cut more than 9 because I brought in 3 Ren, Strip Mine Wasteland, and 6 Time Walk effects. So yeah, I think if I were to like build it by scratch, it would be worse than if I just start from a shell that's already working. Yeah, so as I said, like Oath of Druids is pretty weird in the mirror, where both players are trying to play with their Forbidden Orchards to have an advantage. You don't really want to be the one casting Oath, but sometimes you do. You kind of need to be able to kill their Oaths, but sometimes you don't. So it ends up somewhere in a weird place. I think this hand is bad. I'm gonna just put it back. It does have an Orchard, which is something we want in this matchup, but I think that like the number of bad cards in this hand is just too high. Geez. Okay, I guess this is slightly better. We'll put back our 7 drop and we'll move on from there. What do we want to do here? We really kind of want to hit a Renin 6. That way we can just keep making land drops. If they play an Oath, obviously we want to have drawn. Yeah, an Oath is like pretty sus because we don't have any Forbidden Orchards. It's not really a strong draw. I think it's definitely worthwhile to just preordain now. If they have an Oko, we can blast it later. That's kind of interesting. Huh. This definitely accelerates us onto our time walks, but it also gives my opponent things that they could Oko and target. I think I'm going to keep one, the emerald, and not both. And I'm not going to play the emerald out. Could be another weird game. Could be another weird game. Yeah, the Oath matchup is the Oath mirror is just so weird. Just very odd. Boo, that's a good draw. That is a great draw. And we get to play around their 1 days. This is a perfect draw in this situation. Just picking up fetch lands every turn to make our time walks is going to be great. It's pretty hard to counter, as you can't Pyroblast or Flusterstorm this. They actually have to just have a Force of Will. It turns out, cards in Vintage that are not blue, very hard to counter. Also, cards that are not blue and additionally are not instants and sorceries, basically uncounterable. My opponent is on like 8 main deck Pyros and Forces, or sorry, Pyros and Flusters. So Wrenn and 6 presents a pretty nice mirror breaker in this situation. I always thought Wrenn and 6 was pretty interesting in Oath lists. It's not fantastic by any means, but it's something that I did like. It's another, 3 or 4, or 2 to 4, I guess, green problematic permanents that you can accelerate and opponent really has to deal with. I'm kind of like I said, I played 2 leagues with this deck, and Wrenn has been quite good. The whole deck has been quite good, which makes me think, wow, how good is like actual Rug Miharu Oath? If I can go 8-2 by putting in 6 unplayable time walks, like Miharu Oath must be insane. All right, I'll give it my best shot to try to Pyroblast this Ancestral. I do not think it's going to resolve if my opponent has a Fluster. Oh, they just have a Force and another Force. So they chose not to force Wrenn so they could protect this Ancestral. An interesting play. All right, my opponent draws 3 cards. It costs them 3 cards. One thing we don't particularly want to see is Forbidden Orchard Oath. That would be quite bad for us. It does look like they have it, though. Certainly. Oh, no, that's blue mana. Blue mana, so it's going to be a Narset then. Or a Dak Fade Ensure. So if they activate this now, we could always kill it with our Wrenn if we need to. They found a Black Lotus off of their Narset. Okay. Go on. All right, so we drew another land, which we obviously don't want. And we definitely do not want to play our Oath, as we will be on the losing end of that interaction. But what we can do is use the Spirit to attack Narset. This is a reason I don't like Narset very much in Oath. It's pretty much impossible to protect. Your own lands kill your Narset. It just doesn't end very well. A big problem in this game is going to be that we have 5 mana blue instants and sorceries, which are just not resolvable against my opponent's Flusterstorms and Pyroblasts. And they have double Orchard, so if they kept in Oath, which I don't know if they did, they might have kept in all 4 Oath. We are on the losing end of this. Thanks for joining us, Jake. Oh, they found an Oath off of their Narset. All right, well, This is bad. I don't see us winning this game. It's possible we need to... I don't know. We have the same number of Forbidden Orchards. I think we come out in a really good spot by boarding out most of our oaths in. So I kind of am at the point where I need my opponent to just have no counter magic in their deck and us to temporal into something. I'm not exactly sure. Yeah, this is just not going to work out for us. Though, yeah, I guess if my opponent has nothing, we should eventually hit Ren and 6 Emblem and do time walking things. Another really pretty powerful interaction in the deck is Ren and 6 Ultimate. I just can't imagine that we ever resolve any of these, but we'll give it our best shot. Yeah, they can have actual factual any counter spell. Yep. All right, so let's hope my opponent... I don't even know. I don't think there's anything we can do. My opponent's going to trigger Oath, and they're going to put a very powerful creature into play, Grizzlebrand or Niv Mizzet, neither of which we can really realistically beat. That is, of course, the downside to us playing 5-mana Time Walks. Our opponent also, you know, resolved an Ancestral this game, so that doesn't really help. Is there any value to continuing this game? I guess theoretically we could still hit infinite turns. So, but I just can't resolve any spells, so it seems pretty unlikely. We really didn't draw a very strong combination of cards in this game, though we were still pretty close to doing things. It was really just my opponent drew multiple orchards and we did not, right? I think I might choose to board more orchards out, or more oaths out, seeing as my opponent is going to go this many oaths in. We can at least play around Fluster here, which is kind of nice. Oh no, we can't. We're 1 minute short of doing that. Never mind. I don't know if we win with infinite turns, to be honest. I got fucking spell pierced. Okay. Alright. I guess I have an Oko for the Grizzlebrand, so we would win. Interesting. I think I'm just gonna take another oath. I'm just gonna take my oaths out, and then... I mean, I don't have good cards to bring in, though, so maybe it's fine. Maybe I just bring in all claims and keep all oaths out. I think that's probably fine. I don't know. I think it's fine to have just this setup. Yeah, I think Fluster is terrible. The hell does Fluster do? I think Fluster's pretty garbage in this matchup from my side of the table. Pyroblast at least kills resolved Okos. Yeah, I like this. This is probably fine. I think we're like at an advantage if my opponent is keeping in 4 Oath of Druids and we're not. All right, this is kind of a weird hand. We're definitely gonna wait until we have a blue source here, but at least we have an orchard and some value. Yeah, I just don't think like us boarding in 1 Fluster is really going to change any kind of counter battle. Doesn't really seem like it would. I hate Gataxian Probe. It really makes for shit magic. Oh well. Pretty unfortunate. What do we do? Probably just cast Gaia's Blessing and cycle. Why do I feel like we're so far behind? Maybe it's because my opponent cast 4 spells on turn 1. We do technically play more lands than our opponent. But these are more spells than lands. I guess I'll just target myself, but I'm not putting any cards back. All right, I want to keep that as a way to pitch to force. Hey, Asphalt, thanks for joining us. I definitely didn't like seeing my Guy's Blessing drawn. It's definitely been pretty useful, but I guess no Oath player really likes to see their Guy's Blessing drawn. All right, they're gonna double fetch. Leaves us some room to do strip mining. Another Narset. There's only one in your deck. Okay, no, it looks like it's a Dak Fayden then. I still don't think I want a Dak Fayden resolving, so hopefully they don't have counter spells. We definitely wish we had our full 4 Pyroblasts from the Maharu list in this kind of matchup, with a lot of the game revolving around blue planeswalkers. It seems like my opponent has Force of Will and is trying to decide if they want to push through their Dak Fayden or or counter my Ancestral, which does seem like that's what's happened. So they have a resolved Dak Fayden. It means they're going to get a looting off, but I could very easily draw Pyroblast, and the Dak Fayden is just a Faithless Looting. So not the strongest. They also pitched a second force, which means I think they're pretty unlikely to have another force. So they did bring in Nature's Claims. So I wonder if they boarded the same way we did, maybe, and they just drew both of theirs last time. Obviously, Black Lotus is a terrible draw. Unless we draw our 7-drop and cast with it. I guess that would work. I'm just going to cast this Ancestral now while they're tapped out. And interesting draws. Interesting draws, to say the least. So I could make a 3/3 this turn. And I can kill their green source. Works out pretty well for me. Do they have Gush? No. Just Daze. Kind of depends on what we're worried about them casting. Oath is kind of scarier, but not exactly scarier, because we do have Double Orchard. So I actually kind of want them to cast Oath, which is a little weird to say. So maybe I will strip mine the Volcanic. So my initial gut reaction was I'm scared about getting Oathed, but I actually have Double Orchard, so as long as they don't go Orchard Oath, it's fine. But if they go Orchard Oath, we do lose the game. I mean, if they go Orchard Oath, it's not good. It's actively bad. But I still think this is correct. Though they do have a Mox, so I guess we have the ability to give them an Elk as well. So maybe it actually does work out for us in the end. Kind of weird. Like I said, Oath matchups are very awkward. Yeah, this matchup revolves a lot around Oko, and we're only running 3. I guess opponent's only running 3 as well. I think you should have 4 Okos in your Oath decks typically. Obviously, I had to find room to cut something. All right, Brainstorm. So my opponent has Brainstorm and Dak Fade in here. Obviously, if they play, this is kind of leaning them into a fetch land, which is interesting. But if they... I guess if they had gone Orchard, Oath, Pyroblast, that would be winning as well. There's a lot of ways this goes badly in my mind. But I think it's kind of our only line, so we definitely are more likely to want our opponent to cast Oath with our double Orchard draw. All right, so my opponent did find a fetch land, which I assume means that our Oko is getting Pyroblasted. Let's see if they activate Dak first. Yep. Forbidden Orchard. They pitched a Forbidden Orchard and a Tropical Island, which is interesting. I assume Pyroblast is happening. Yeah. So we'll definitely attack this Dak Fade in and play out an Orchard. They do have a Braid in the... Ooh, wow. Should probably play around Days. Just play out this Orchard first. It does signal that our Oath is good, but I think it's better. All right, so this is a really good spot, especially with them having... Oh, they have a Nature's Claim. Okay, fair. They have 1 card left here. They really need to find a Braid or land Oko, I think. Those are the big ones. They pitched 2 more Orchards. Wow. Well, I mean, they found Ancestral, so I guess that would do it, yeah. Jesus Christ. All right, sure. Why not? All right, well, now I think we're very much unfavored to win this game. My opponent is just going to outvalue us with Ancestral Dak Fade in here, and I can't really kill this Dak Fade in an appropriate amount of time. I assume my opponent will end up finding one of their Okos and then stabilizing, and we just have nothing going for us. Pretty unfortunate when you come to think about it. Oh, they pitched a Grizzlebrand. They did pitch a lot of their lands. They only have 1 Orchard, 1 Trop, and 1 Volk left. They only have 3 more playable lands. So they might have a hard time finding a land, though I guess they have a bunch of fetches left in their deck still. 1, 2, 3. It's only 5 fetches in their deck. 1, 2, 3. They only have 2. They only have 2 fetches left too. I guess they have a bunch of Moxen. I guess that helps. Yeah. Well, my opponent can't Oath. All they can really do is Oko me out of this game, but it seems like there should be very accessible for them to Oko me out of this game. Between Narset, Dak Faden, they found an Emerald. Yeah. What? That's a bold play. All right. Well, that might win us the game, to be perfectly honest. I don't think my opponent was ever supposed to play an Oath of Druids in this game. I do think I'm supposed to activate this spirit, even though it doesn't really stop this stuff that's happening here. Obviously, Nature's Claim is not a great draw in this situation. Maybe with 2 orchards, I should have not activated the spirit and just gone for the attack and killed the Narset. Maybe that was a mistake. But in this way, I literally can't ever lose, even if my opponent has the other orchard. Is the kind of the reasoning that I had chosen initially. I don't know. I think it's pretty close. My opponent might just end up like Nature's Claiming their own Oath of Druids, which would be probably pretty problematic for us as well. So maybe not. My opponent gets to look at a lot of cards here. So theoretically, they have a Veil of Summer, sure. Theoretically, if my opponent had, if I had not given my opponent, are they targeting me? No, they're targeting them. If they had not given my opponent a spirit, I could have attacked and killed Narset, played my things, and given them 2 spirits. Then if they had gone last Forbidden Orchard plus a Braid, we would lose. I mean, I guess. Like, they're winning even if they don't have a blocker, though, right? Like, I don't know. A little hard to say. Like, my one elk is not going to ever beat their combined planeswalkers. So I'm pretty okay with the idea of just high rolling on their Oath of Druids. Like, I'm just so buried in card advantage that I think that I would rather just go for the high roll. I know my opponent's hand is Veil and 2 unknowns. And we get to activate our dragon this turn. So as long as they don't have another claim. It looks like they kept in at least 3 Oath of Druids. I don't know how many claims they brought in. I don't know what like most people do. All I know is like what I watched Miharu do. So in terms of like how many claims and how many oaths. Is there any reason to give them another spirit? No. Not if I want to attack with my emerald, but I don't think I want to attack with my emerald. I think I just want to attack with the... I mean, they could still have counter spells, but they can't have Pyroblast now, which is nice. I don't think there's any reason to give them another spirit. All right, so here we get a dragon, and we need 3 attacks for lethal. Holy shit! I guess that's so problematic. Our Gaia's Blessing we had to cast in the beginning of this game, and our dragons were both in the bottom 15 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's only 2 time walks left. Wait, that means we're pretty much guaranteed though, right? Not exactly. Oh, a Brainstorm is good. But it's not good because of a Narset. Jesus Christ. I guess 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 2 in our deck. If they're evenly spaced out between the top 7 and the bottom cards, we win. Do we have fetchables left in our deck? 1, 2, 3. We do have fetchables left in our deck. So I want to fetch. Maybe I don't want to fetch. If I fetch, we'll have 12 cards left. We'll see 7, so we'll get 2 extras back into our top 7 in a random order. So maybe we don't want to fetch so that we can, if we see both, we can shuffle. And I think I just have to go all face with my attacks, and I don't think I'm attacking with Emerald. There's no reason to attack with Emerald, right? Because it's going to take 3 turns to get through anyways. Okay, spin the wheel. Attacking with Emerald. Why would I attack with Emerald? What's the upside of attacking with Emerald? What does that do for us? Well, no, it means we don't have to use our orchards at all. I don't know. I don't think there's any reason to attack with emeralds. All right, so all face. Top 7 cards, looking for a time walk. We found a time walk and only 1 time walk. So as long as I'm counting these cards the right way, we should be good. One. Yeah, they can draw with Veil and try to find Force. I don't think we have to do anything. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and walk is 6. Honestly, I'm not sure if the other Oath targets would have won the game from this spot. I'm not sure Grizzlebrand and Niv Mizzet win the game from this spot. But Velomachus might. If they draw Force here. No. With 10 cards left in my library, Slasher? Maybe. How would I kill the Niv? How would I kill the Narset though? Wow. That was wild. Oh, wow. What a match. This deck's so cool. Oh, if I had not done the Orchard activation, that is fair. I probably would have valued Narset. Holy shit, they drew into a Pyroblast. Yeah, I probably would have valued killing Narset a little bit higher if my creatures were Grizzlebrand and Niv Mizzet, though, right? I probably would have valued it slightly higher. Wow. Okay. Win, loss, win. Crazy round. Crazy round. Wild. This deck's so cool. Okay, here we go. Now we found our round 2 opponent. We're playing against Chase. Chase is on the Gak attack. Pretty standard Gak deck. Got an extra squee in here. But for the most part, it's pretty standard junk colored Gak deck. Nothing super crazy. This is a deck that is poised to gain quite a lot from Modern Horizons 2 in the form of Grief, as well as the 1 black removal spell. But for now, this is just a normal Gak deck, crop rotation, Life from the Loam, and Squee in the flex slots. It's not ideal. Certainly not ideal. Oath is very good in this matchup because my opponent plays a lot of creatures, but they also have 4 main deck Force of Vigors that remove Oath. Forbidden Orchard, not something I want a lot of in this matchup. I think that this hand is just not that good. It does have a Force of Will to protect our Oath, but we don't have an Oath, and I think it's kind of hard to find an Oath. I would rather just put this back. Try to find an Oath hand. This hand is obviously much better. It requires my opponent to have turn 1 Force of Vigor. So we're going to do that. If my opponent does have turn 1 Force of Vigor, we probably lose. But that's a risk that I'm willing to take. I think having 2 Ogos is better than having any Narsets. So... someone has to set up that. If Raphael's in chat, Raphael can do it. Actually, any mod could set up a channel betting. I could do it too, but as everyone knows, I'm lazy, terrible streamer. All right, so my opponent has a Once Upon a Time. Does that mean they also have a Vigor? They have a Bazaar off of their Once Upon a Time. Do they have a Vigor? Is the next question. And they have a Vigor. Wonderful. So they have a Bazaar, and they had 2 Force, and they had a Force of Vigor. So we are going to lose this game. What's a guy to do? I cast my spells. They had all the answers, and we died. They pitched Rootwalla double Bloodghast. Certainly not a good thing for me. And has a hollow one. Woo, man, I can't wait for this deck to get better, chat. Seems pretty reasonable as it is. We found an Oath. Probably need to hit exactly Black Lotus, though, to be able to race this. I don't think Forbidden Orchard does it. No. Unlucky. Now, I think even if we were... Geez, they hit Squee, Vengevine, Rootwalla. Okay, all right, man. I can... Gee. Yeah, close match. Close match. All right, well, I'm going to bring in the Soul Guide Lanterns and the Rab Traps. And I know Rab Traps aren't amazing against Hogak, but I think they're worth it. See how many we keep in, though. I actually think that I would rather just not play Force of Will. I understand that it counters their vigor, but really don't think that's the way you want to play this game. Maybe I'll have some amount of Force of Wills in my deck. I think Narset's pretty terrible. Actually, Red and 6 is pretty bad as well. So maybe I will just play 4 Force of Wills. Fluster is not better than Force because Fluster costs mana, where, as you saw in that game, we kind of needed a Force to protect our thing. You kind of need to play your Oath of Druids fairly early. I think Mental Misstep is fantastic against Hogak, so I would not be boarding out my Mental Misstep, no. I don't think Ren and 6 is unplayable, but I don't think I would have it over any of these other cards, so... Yeah, no, we're playing against Gak. We kept a turn 1 Oath hand, which is something that I'll always do. And my opponent had Force of Vigor, and I think they actually just once upon a time into a Bazaar, so... I don't even like Fluster versus Dredge that much. I think it's a little slow. I actually think this matchup is like pretty good. It's really just Force of Vigor is like the end all be all. Because they're not really dealing with an active creature that you get Oath in. So once you Oath in, you're pretty good to go. But yeah, Force of Vigor is very, very powerful card. Yeah, like Rav Trap is weird because it has some issues against GAC in the form of like bad timing windows and Basking Root Walla. But I think it's still worth having in your deck and can definitely save you, so weird. It's possible that I should have some number of grudges or claims in my deck for like Hollow One. Like this hand is definitely a trap. I would keep this versus Dredge, but nothing, probably not even anything else. Even versus Dredge is a little sus because you don't actually have ways to deal with Hollow One. Just 5 lands is really bad. Like I think our goal in this matchup is still just to play early Oath of Druids. This hand's much better. I'm just gonna get rid of the Preordain. Kind of an interesting choice, actually. Yo, goat. Appreciate the extension. I think I'm just gonna get rid of Volcanic Island. The only problem with that is that they have their own wasteland as their lead. But I feel like we want our own wasteland, and we definitely need these 3, 4, and 5. So it's Preordain or Volcanic. I think it's like more likely we want to Preordain than Volcanic. So I mean, there's definitely a likelihood we want a Volcanic, but all right. We once again found one of our Moxen and played a turn 1 Oath with a Forbidden Orchard, which is obviously what we want to see. Let's see if our opponent has 7-card Bizarre Force of Vigor again. So my opponent found a Verdant Catacombs with their Once Upon a Time, and they did not have a Vigor this time. Do they have a Bizarre in their opener? That's the next question. Theoretically, they can have turn 1 Assassin's Trophy. The way they would have that would be Mox Emerald or Mox Jet in combination with this Verdant Catacombs. They actually don't play a Black Lotus in their deck, which I think is interesting. I found the Black Lotus to be pretty reasonable in Hogak. Alright, so just Stitcher Supplier. Not anything really hit off of this. Don't think I'm going to cast Ravenous Trap. If they cast a 1-drop next turn, I may... the problem would be... I actually might Ravenous Trap here. And the reasoning is if they cast a 1-drop next turn, they could cast a Hogak. But a Hogak shouldn't matter at this point in the game. But I think it's still correct to actually hit a Ravenous Trap here. Alright, so I get a Dragon, which probably wins the game on its own, but it can also take Time Walk turns. Milled over a Time Walk. My opponent didn't even want to see Time Walk turns. I wanted to see Time Walk turns. It looks like we were going to miss. See, opponent? Could have kept going. Do I want to actually play Answers to Hollow One in my deck besides Oko? That's actually another question that we should probably be asking ourselves. No? And I don't care. I guess we could play an Ancient Grudge. I hate Ancient Grudge. I think it's kind of garbage. Hey, I'm off it. Let's just go. Let's just continue. 5/5 Vigilance Dragon is our answer. Fair. Fair. You make a strong argument. That's a hand that I'm willing to keep. Absolutely. Keep. Yep. All right. Let's see what they find. Another Once Upon a Time. This one found a Bazaar of Baghdad. All right. What's your Bazaar of Baghdad have? We have had turn 1 Oath every game. This is true. Vengevine, Bloodghast. 1 hollow one. Not 2 hollow ones. Am I supposed to still trap them now? Yeah, I don't think we want to play into something like a Rootwalla. So let's just trap them now. And then we have... Jeez. Actually, I'm going to definitely go with Sapphire Brainstorm to start here and see if we can't pick up a way to protect ourselves. Yeah, we're still obviously deploying our Oath of Druids here. A question may be, I don't think I want to expose my red source. Obviously, we're going to lose our Sapphire to a Vigor, but I could play the Soul Guide Lantern, in which case... no, I think this is fine. All right, so they actually had Deathrite Shaman Vigor. Now, I think I'm just supposed to play this Lantern out. Because they did it not on my end step. I guess they could have another Vigor. But, I don't know, whatever. That's fine. So as long as we don't get Wastelanded, which I guess is pretty likely that could happen. Maybe we should have brought in answers to Hollow One. Maybe I was supposed to put the Pearl back and keep the other Tropical. That's actually kind of an interesting one. I could have not used this Pearl. Vengevine, and they have the Wasteland. Yeah, I could have chosen to keep an additional land. We might just lose to just not having lands. I think I might have made a mistake. I mean, that's a good draw. I'm definitely willing to give them... I'm not willing to give them a Spirit right away for clock reasons. Okay, interesting. I'm at exactly 15 life, so I didn't want to give them a Spirit on this turn. Now, though, I can give them a Spirit at the end of step. I don't want to hit Oath Trop. I guess an Oko would be pretty good as well. Well, it would have increased the clock if I had cast it on my upkeep, or on my turn, which is why I chose not to do that. And I will now be casting it on their end step instead. I don't know. I'm feeling like we're going to die to Hollow Ones. So this is an interesting activation because they have to hit exactly Rootwalla, or Hollow One Rootwalla to trigger these Vengevines. And even if they were to do that, I have Soul Guide Lantern. So it's kind of an interesting play to be making. I feel like I would have, if I were them, held that longer. Get an extra card in their hand. Jeez. Okay. Sure. That's pretty much terrible. I actually can't even cast an Oko right now. Oh, that's terrible, Duraz. Maybe I really fucked up by not having this Pearl be a tropical. It's definitely possible. I think we're just gonna lose. Pretty sad. That is hollow one for you, though. I don't think I have drawn any cards that I would have boarded out for an Ancient Grudge, so it's not like I would have also drawn my answer. So maybe it's not a huge deal. So they hit a Bloodghast and a Rootwalla here. Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't even think I can draw a card off this Soul Guide Lantern ever, because I will immediately die. Actually, I'm just dead already, so... If I were to draw a Oko, I could play my Oko, give them a creature, I go to 5, they have a 3, I play a 3, I get a... I think we just can't win. I'm gonna activate this Lantern and draw a card. Kinda need to find like a Black Lotus. Gaia's Blessing. Why? I guess I can get these Vengevines and stuff back, but I'm just still dead on board, so... Alright, time to capture Jin Jiao. Jin. Man, I still haven't got it. I guess we just have to draw Black Lotus, right? Our one and only out. I mean, Bizarre is definitely broken, but I only have 10 sideboard cards for it, you know? Alright, Black Lotus for a dragon, please. Still technically Black Lotus for a dragon, please. That's unfortunate. I wish I could actually take both of these, but I cannot. Cannot take either. If I could take both, then we'd have a shot again, but not take either of these. That's so tilting. Holy shit. Well, unfortunate. We got a tier 1 deck that is getting 4 insanely good new cards in it. Classic. Okay, chat. Here we are, round 3, Mythic Society Weekly. We're playing against Ravager Shops. There's a little bit of a decklist bug here where it has the sideboard in the main deck, but that's okay. I can tell what's in the sideboard. Ley lines, traps, needles, cages. It's all pretty straightforward. And work on some amount of Wormcoil engines. I'm not exactly sure how many Wormcoil engines, I guess. But it shouldn't matter too much. Basically just a pretty stock-looking Ravager Shops, car shops list. So let's try to fix these sizing because Magic Online hates me. And let's begin. An interesting hand. I think this is definitely a keeper though. We've got counter magic, we've got lands, we've got ways to draw into our Oath of Druids. We should be pretty favored in game 1 where we can get an Oath out. Actually, I'm not actually sure how good our deck is against Ravager Shops, considering that spheres affect our time walks slightly. Let's find out together. I've actually played against 0 shops in the 2 leagues that I've played. My opponent kept wastes. Turn 1 Fleet Wheel Cruiser, turn 2 Chief plus waste. I guess that's something you could keep. We don't really want to get wastelanded. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, we're gonna keep those cards. Shops is not dead. Please stop saying Shops is dead when it was, again, one of the best performing decks at the most recent challenges. Ravager Shops is one of the best decks in the format. Please, for the love of God, stop saying Shops is dead. All right, so we're not getting wastelanded, or we're not getting wastelanded here, which is very, very good for our chances of winning the game. We are definitely going to just counter this Fleetwheel Cruiser. Well, go to 13 and then counter the Chief on the next turn. I just don't like the idea of countering every creature forever, so I'm going to counter this instead. The only people who think Shops is dead are the Shops players who are sad that they don't have 60% matchup versus the field anymore. Oh, I don't actually have lands in my yard. Huh, that's funny. All right, doesn't matter. All right, so this Workshop is gone, this Pearl is gone, and this Fleetwheel Cruiser is gone. They're going to have 2 unknowns, and they have a Wasteland and a Chief of the Foundry, which is probably what's happening this turn, I would suspect. Unfortunately, can't make my Oko this turn after I get wasted. Oh, they chose to play that Sphere. I still won't be able to do my Oko. Oh, they're going to hold? Whoa. If you're going to hold, then you probably should use your Wasteland. But, I mean, I accept. I think I'm just going to turn this Ruby into a 3/3. Now we should be in great shape. I think they played their Wasteland and then realized, my guess, now if I had to guess what happened, would be my opponent drew a Steel Overseer for turn, and they were planning on playing Chief of the Foundry Steel Overseer, and so they played their Wasteland. They wanted to play Steel Overseer, but then they realized we had an active Ren and 6, which actually is fine because they have a Chief. So maybe that's not what they were thinking. You know what? I have no idea what they were thinking. Never mind. I have no idea what's going on. Okay, well, that is the worst possible outcome, because now everything is fucking big. And I can't actually block this Chief. It's going face. Interesting. This has been an interesting... I guess they chose not to ever Wasteland me because I had a Ren and 6, but I don't really think that's how you want to play it. What a weird game of Magic the Gathering, isn't this? Not a weird game. All right, well, let's see what we can find in here. Ancestral Recall, I accept. Do I want another Oko? I don't think so. I mostly just want an Oath of Druids. Well, I once again have options. Which is nice. Yeah, I guess. Man, what a weird game of Magic the Gathering. I think I'm just gonna shoot down this Workshop. I drew Ancestral and Brainstorm, and somehow I still have just no castable spells. I think I need to just turn this into an Elk. It's going to end very poorly for me, though. Maybe not very poorly. I still have Oko Ren. Maybe everything is fine. I mean, if there's anyone to be impressively unlucky, y'all know who it would be. That is a fucking nightmare. Well, actually not. Well, yeah, it is a nightmare. God, this is so bad. Because it's a 3/2, so they could just name Oko, and I can't Ren and 6 it. Oh my god. Wow. This is, what a game of Magic the Gathering. I'll tell you that much. This is not exactly what I expected to happen when I started playing this game. I mean... Wait, did I did set ourselves up to double ping. Because I don't think I fetched. Did I fetch? I may have fetched. I can't remember if I fetched, to be honest. Ballista. How do they have so many cards? Yeah, I did set ourselves up to double ping because I forgot to fetch. So I guess everything works out in the end. And by works out, I mean we're going to lose this game. But, you know, a little bit of here, a little bit of there. Are we just dead on board? Oh, we're just dead on board. Whatever, man. Just go next. I can't believe we lost that game after casting Ancestral and Brainstorm. Oh well. Maybe I could have played it better. Alright, well we have Ancient Grudges and we have Nature's Claims coming in here. We've got Pyroblasts, Flusterstorm. We probably... do you keep in Mental Misstep? For the 2 cages that are in my opponent's deck? Nah, I don't care. Well, I guess they have Needles too. Nah, I just don't think that's good. We'll just run like this. I didn't really think it was possible to lose that game with an active Ren and an active Oko, but I managed to do it somehow. Kind of impressive, to be honest. Well, this one certainly looks a lot better. A question might be... I might not even be supposed to play this land out. Good night, thanks. I'm gonna hold it. So they can't play creatures. And I kind of need to be able to force a cage. I think this is correct. Maybe it's not. Maybe they just go slow. Yeah, I think that's fine. I mean, I could have like played out all my things and waited, but I don't think that's correct. Maybe it is. Maybe I'm just supposed to go Volcanic, Waste, Lotus, go. That can't be right though. Then what if I like they play Revoker? Am I supposed to not counter it? I don't know. I'm not really sure. Maybe I'm supposed to let a cage resolve so that I can claim it later after they play creatures. I'm just like super worried about getting sphered then, I guess. Could always get sphered. I guess I'm willing to preordain, right? Find lands. Maybe that's a terrible idea with an active wasteland in play. Yeah, alright, cool. Bottom. We did it. Oh no, not like this. Alright, I don't know. Maybe we should go back to just never playing Magic again. Yeah, Mana Crypt resolves. You got it. Sphere, I assume. Needle. Resolves. You got it. I assume this name's Oko. I guess I could name one of my fetch lands. Pretty sure I have a very diversified fetch land sweep. Yeah. Okay. All right. The race is on. Mana Crypt versus me finding spells that matter, or Forbidden Orchards, even lands. Oh my god. Magic is too hard. Magic is just way too hard of a game. Do I even play this? I'm just gonna get wastelanded, aren't I? Maybe I'm supposed to hold that. I kind of need them to cast spells, don't I? I feel like what I need to happen here is them to draw Cage, them to play Cage, Cage to resolve, and then they play a creature and I Nature's Claim the Cage. That's gotta be the plan, right? I definitely think I wasn't supposed to play this Tropical Island. Kind of regret it. Alright, whatever. We'll just go next. Go next. Sure. Why not? That's fine, I guess. I refuse to cast this Brainstorm. I know I'll get Brainstorm locked. Alright, maybe I don't know, maybe I wasn't supposed to play this turn 1 Oath of Druids. Maybe I was supposed to wait. But opponent didn't have to. I don't Alright, they have a factory? No! Stop it. 5? What costs 5? Walking Ballista? Oh, a snake. Yeah, that's fine. It has pro Velomachus. I do understand that, opponent, but however, it doesn't have pro Nature's Claim. So you may regret this decision on future turns. Also doesn't have pro Ancient Grudge. Pew! Sorry, opponent. Sorry to do you like that. Got him. Maybe I do want Misstep. Alright, I'm in. Gotta be better than this Brainstorm. Try again. Oh, these matches tonight have been interesting games of Magic the Gathering, have they not? Things have definitely happened. What do we got? I've got a Force. Oh no, chat. It's a bait hand. It's an absolute bait hand. It's an absolute Justin is 1000% to keep and lose the game hand. Wombo would keep this hand, so. Nice logic. Oh my god, how many manas do you have? That one resolves. That one definitely resolves. That one also definitely resolves. Alright, I think we win. Just need to draw that green mana, right? It's so easy. It's so easy. It's too easy, chat. It's just expert level Magic. Not for the faint of heart. I can't wait to put a dragon in play. It's gonna be a good time. Whatever you're casting, I will not allow it. Even if you even is a Ballista, I won't allow a Ballista. I might allow a Sneak. Should we give him hope? Let him have the Sneak and then just Ancient Grudge it again? Probably correct, actually. All right. I would like a dragon. Didn't hit my other Ancient Grudge, huh? Hopefully I don't draw the Gaia's Blessing. I should probably have done that with different colors of mana. Whoops! Should probably have used my strip mine to do that, I think. I could have killed two things. This probably doesn't matter. Ooh. Who needs to take extra turns when you can grudge things? Actually, it was just a strategical play where I wanted to get rid of their Mishra's Workshop, you know? Just how I drew it up, really. That's just value, you know? I even have cage. I don't even know what I have covered. No, you're not allowed to have this. I've decided against it. I've decided I must perfect game you. Should we shuffle all of these grudges back in? What if we miss? Oh, I actually can't trigger my Oath of Druids anymore. Haha. Never mind. Just kidding. Ooh, we actually have one time walk does it because of Ren and 6 ping. You love to see it. I hit no time walks. No, stop it. All right, I guess we'll ponder then. Jeez. No, I don't want a stupid capture. Wait, I guess I can put the capture couple cards down. It'll be fine. Oh, wait, I could have had that jet, though. Oh, well, whatever. I'm over it. It doesn't actually matter what we do, does it? Probably not. Whatever. I don't know. I'm just gonna kill all of their things for fun. Pew! Yo, it's not every day that I get to use my Shelbys, so I'm a big Shelby fan. Look at how cute Shelby is. Let them die to their own mana crypt. No, who would do that? That's just rude. Oh man, too funny. Too funny. I like this card. It's really fun. All right. Opponent has had enough of our fun, which is fair. They did completely range us in game one, to be fair. That also happened as well. Not bad. Okay. So this is now the fourth and final round of the Vintage Weekly with the Mythic Society. We're getting another match versus Shops, this time versus a Crystalline Giant version of Ravager Shops instead of a Car Shops, though there are two boats in the main. Let's see how it fares. We are already 2-1, playing against basically 4 fairly stock meta decks tonight, and we've done pretty well. So we didn't make Maharu's deck too bad with our fun inclusions, and we might have even won a game with the Time Walk Dragon that we might have lost if we were playing the better version too. So this hand doesn't really have a force, has terrible mana. Definitely gonna put this back. This hand has turn 1 Oko. Yeah, I'm gonna keep this hand, I think. This might just not be good enough against a 7-card hand. I guess that would be true. My opponent's on 2 Worm Coils in the main, huh? That's crazy. All right, so they have a Foundry Inspector. We we I got a hot elk guy. Sure hope that they don't have a Phyrexian Revoker. That would be bad. I wasn't expecting to draw another land when I kept my hand, but we did it. All right, I assume Oko gets a shot in the face here. He does. And now what? What is your follow-up? What is the best you got? Well, it's not a Crystalline Giant, or they would have played it pre-combat. A boat? Kill my Oko? No. Walking Ballista, kill my Oko. Rip. All I did was make a food. Unlucky. All right, well, I do need to draw action. However, if I draw an Oath, we're in great shape. Ooh. All right, we're back on the luck train. Opponent probably has to draw another Walking Ballista and shoot their whole board or something. I'm not really sure. I assume they just lose. Though I guess a Sovereign Skyship can block a Elder Dragon. So maybe that's the line. Maybe the line is lay out a Sky Sovereign, crew it with the Inspector, and just block Velomachus. That's this guy's name, right? Velomachus. I guess it could be a big dragon too. Their name. Velomachus. The lore hold. What is it, like a principal? Is it a principal? Is it a founder? What is the Elder Dragon? Founder. It's gotta be a founder, right? Founder of the college, I assume. Founder. All right, sweet. Sweet. All right, is this a boat? No, it's a worm coil. All right. I think Fire Shoes had like seen too many aggro mirrors in this event and just started throwing the worm coil in the main. All right, we're gonna have to find some time walks here. 2 time walks do it. We've got our Elder Dragon Founder. That certainly doesn't do anything. Let's get rid of one of our lands. And swing with our Flying Vigilance Haste Elder Dragon. Looking for one of our 7 time walks. We found a Temporal Manipulation. Let's cast it. So here, I do think that I want to play a second Oath. And what I'm going to do is double trigger. And I think what I'm going to do is activate them so that my Temporal Mastery gets shuffled back in via Gaia's Blessing. This. And then it gets shuffled back in. And then we don't need the second one. So now I still have 7 shots. I no longer have any Gaia's Blessing. So we're looking at 7 cards deep for 7 time walks. And we found a capture. Capturing the city. Sweet. That was game. It's so cool. It's really pretty sweet. It's really pretty sweet. I like this deck. All right, so again, we're bringing in Shelby, and we're bringing in Claim, and maybe Mindbreak Trap, and we're taking out Narset, Blastums, Bluster. My opponent is on no cages. Wow, no cages. Crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Misstep, probe, and brainstorm. Wee, and out. And then submit. Capture is not just for the swag. You'll notice that I'm playing no time warps, and that is because I don't want to get my time walk misdirected. No targeting players on any of my extra turns. Also, cool card. Portal is an interesting set. What is this? Wow, this is Velomachus Oath. Oathing turns. Oathing turns? Why not? Oathing turns. It's gotta be a sweet name. Peak Vintage. All right. I mean, I'll take it. Yeah, why not? Sure. Peak Vintage. We'll go with that. It's going pretty well. Honestly, like, I think Oath just might be in a decent spot in the metagame or something, but both the leagues I played with this deck, the deck felt very good. Obviously, when you draw your 5-mana time warp things, you are not super happy, but they pitched a force. So Oath me right round. It's a good one. Yeah, those are some crazy expensive cards for sure. Oh, sure. I think Portal has like some really nice basic lands too, if I recall correctly. Don't know if they're on Magic Online though, seeing as looks like it's from a Masters set. All right. We took game 1 versus Shops, and they don't have any cages to board in. They do have surgical extractions, which could be weird. This hand is weird. We have lands. I'm definitely going to keep this hand, but it's definitely not... You know, it doesn't have turn 1 Oath, but... I guess we can't always have turn 1 Oath. To be fair, last game we did just rip an Oath off the top, right? We had 5 lands in our hand. We won't tell our opponent that. Yeah, it's like all upside. Why would you not do it? You get to play 2 cards that are much cooler than Time Warp, and also they are just actually better. Yeah, I'm gonna let that resolve. I like having an Oath thing in play. I wonder if I'm supposed to just Ancestral now. Probably not. Don't want to get Wastelanded. I could kill this before it could possibly get hexproof, but oh, it has reach now. That's not good. Might be able to block my Elder Dragon. I do think that there's a chance I just Nature's Claim this. Probably not, actually. I don't know. I'm not hoping to force something. All right, but I will definitely force that. Definitely will force that. I wonder if they were like trying to bait me to use a spell for Wasteland. Yeah, they were. I still think that it's correct for me to just Ancestral on the end step here. Obviously, it's not great, and I don't have any basics, but there's not really much I can do to change that. I think I would rather get a Volcanic Wastelanded if they want a Wasteland now. Sure. All right, we found Shelby and we found Oath. You just need to find a Mox. No Mox. That's fine. I mean, we have Nature's Claims. I think the lowest number I would play is 7, and you can go up to 9 without even playing Time Warp. So, like, you don't want them in your deck. They're not like actively good, but Again, I think that cracking this fetch would be a mistake, so I'm just not going to. If that thing has first strike, death touch, and reach now. This is a deadly combination for my Elder Dragon. My initial list had 2 of each until I remembered about Misdirection. Until I was enlightened. Ravager's annoying, but I have an Orchard, so it doesn't really matter. I didn't do the math, but I did look at the modern and the historic lists and how many they wanted to play. And I did like, well, theoretically you have probably like 49, 48 cards in your deck, and divided by 7. Theoretically, maybe that makes some sense. I don't know if that's actually how math works, but all right. So this time I actually can't Nature's Claim because I don't want my my land being destroyed. Does Ballista next turn kill me? Maybe. I don't know. I don't think I'm allowed to. I guess I could theoretically just claim them both now. Huh. Kind of interesting idea. Four, 2, 5, 4, 8 with another workshop. 9. Theoretically, no. I mean, it's pretty easy for me to be safe and just claim both of these. All right, maybe I will. I have an extra land, so I don't think it ends up being too bad unless they have double wasteland, I guess. Yeah, the way this goes badly is double. Wait, what? I think they just sacked the wrong way. All right, well, I think they accidentally sacked the wrong way, so that's pretty good for us. It wouldn't have been a big deal. They would just have 1 extra spirit here, but now they don't really need to use this wasteland. They can just wait. I guess they chose to use it. Yeah, they can't actually protect from Oath. Oh, they had double wasteland. Wow. All right. That's really, really bad for me. 3 wastelands. Yeah, that's actually like the worst possible thing that could happen by me choosing not to play Oath of Druids. And I don't think it's like super bad for me to not play Oath of Druids there. I think there's like definitely some upsides to killing both their creatures, and it's fine. What is this? Holy shit. Yeah. All right, well, I'm going to claim this ballista here so that they can't shoot down future spirits. And we just have to hope we draw a Moxen or a land so we can play an Oath this turn. They might shoot the spirit. But we have an active Orchard. I probably would just shoot me or eat. Yeah, eat's fine. All right, well, we're very lucky. But we currently are facing the possibility of being a bit lower. This time I'm definitely just slamming this Oath. I mean, we did cast and resolve Ancestral in this game, so hitting a bunch of lands is not unreasonable, but that was pretty lucky. I didn't really play around the third wasteland, but I don't think it was like necessarily that bad to not play around the third wasteland. So this game is definitely still losable. I could easily whiff, and then maybe there's some kind of Ravager Ballista kill. And by some kind of, I mean they actively have Ravager Ballista kill. And by actively have, I mean it looks like they're casting Ravager Ballista kill. Holy shit. Why are we not dying here? My opponent decided to let me... What is happening? Alright, well now we're not going to die. And I think we're probably likely to win now? I guess they didn't see it. I'm so confused. I'm at 4. Do they not know I'm at 4? Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe not. Now, if they sack onto their ballista, I'm just going to claim it. I found a capture. I can even force the issue by going like Ancient Grudge first. Or I could just claim my own thing. So there's like lots of ways that this happens. What? I'm very confused with the plays that Fire Shoes is making tonight. It's been an off day for sure. I did not really want to actually... I guess this is fine. Unless I get surgically extracted and lose. Yeah, that was not fine, by the way. That was a bad play. That was a bad play. I was like, oh, I'll just, cycle my Time Walk back into my deck. But they actively show that they have surgicals in their sideboard. So I really, really should not have done that. I did probably just redraw my capture, though. So, value. I mean, I guess I can see how many turns we take in a row. My opponent was at 24, so we have to, deal quite a bit of damage here. And we already have one of these captures in our hand. I kind of think I just actively want to hit these lands. Oh, I shouldn't have topped. It's okay, I can cycle through my top, actually. I can just use the Velomachus again, or use the Oath Trigger again. Because we already saw that they don't have a surgical the first time, so... Alright, sweet. Now we can actually even miss and cast our own capture from hand. Like, oh, we didn't miss. We actually hit Time Walk. And then... Yeah, I don't know. I haven't been fizzled very many times while casting Time Walks off of my Oath Trigger. I've definitely cast a couple Ancient Grudges off of it. And I've cast a Ravenous Trap off of it. But for the most part, I haven't really fizzled too many times. I think once or twice in my 2 leagues that I played. But it's pretty good, actually. It's pretty consistent. Should we feel the dream though? Let's not actually use our capture here. Let's try to live the dream again, because there's only 6 in our deck when we keep doing this. Is Void Mirror a good card? No. Oh, we whiffed. Oh no, we whiffed. Not like this. We were so close. We were so close. Is this BM? Might be BM. Play it from hand! This was fun. I had a good time. GG's. I whiffed again. Jeez. Unlucky. It's okay. I would have drawn one. Cast it again. Never whiff. GG's. And so, not a bad night. 3-1, losing only to Hogak, beating Shops, and an Oath Mirror. Overall, this deck looks pretty fine. Obviously, we took a working shell, so we expect it to have some amount of playability to it in general, but I figured that putting 6 fairly dead cards into your deck would make it work badly, but for the most part, it works pretty well. I think that the Wasteland Strip Mine Red and 6 edition actually actively helps the deck and makes it look pretty good. I think Red and 6 is totally a playable card inside of Oath decks. It's just more like, how do you want to allocate your spots? And currently the Miharu Oath decks play a bunch of Pyroblast and counter spells to play a more interactive game and a more controlling game. But for the most part, like, I thought that the whole idea of having Ren and 6 inside of this deck seems pretty reasonable to me. And I think that obviously Miharu's deck construction is very finely tuned, so that whole structure is very good, very good, very good. Overall, this card actually impressed me. I thought it would be a lot worse than it was, and it was actually just like a very reasonable Oath target that won the game most of the time, and actually that's all that I ask. I very much dislike people who play Oath targets. Not the people. I very much dislike Oath decks that play non-Grizzlebrand related cards to Oath into, because I want your Oath of Druids to win you the game every time it is activated, and not only some of the time. And so things like Sphinx or Emrakul or those kind of things that don't win you the game, I very much dislike those. Grizzlebrand Niv Mizzet is like bordering on the edge, where I normally would like to play something like two Grizzlebrand, so that I can always draw into some kind of like Vault Key or Tendrils combo, something like that. So actually, the fact that this card had almost always won the game of the turn and comboed off with the Time Walks every single time, almost every time that I've played it so far. There's a couple times it has fizzled. I've been very happy with. Very happy with, actually. So if you're looking for a kind of a fun spin on Oath, this is very playable. And if you're looking to just play Oath, I think Oath might be in a good spot right now. I played some leagues and it looked pretty reasonable. A lot of people are playing creatures now, even in their control decks. Like a lot of the slower decks in Magic right now are playing Sedgemoor Witch in their deck, so you end up with a bunch of more controlling decks that are playing more creatures than normal. And this, where did my guy's blessing go? And this results in your Oath of Druids just being a bit stronger than it normally would be. So I actually think that there's a chance that, especially with the upcoming maybe Vengevine based metagame that there's some viability to playing some Oath. Now, I don't exactly know how good Oath actually is against these Vengevine decks. As you saw, we did lose the GAC tonight, and I felt like it really shouldn't be as bad as it felt. They are on 4 Force of Vigor, and if they're mulliganing more aggressively to Force of Vigor, maybe that's an issue, but either way, that's going to be all for me for this deck, and this will be all for my Strixhaven brews. Magic Online has Modern Horizons 2 coming out tomorrow. So going forward on this channel, I expect to be producing lots more brews with different Modern Horizons cards. So if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more of this vintage content. One of the only people out there doing it. So if you like it and support it, feel free to make sure you drop that subscribe button at the very least on YouTube. That's free action you can take to grow the community and grow vintage tangentially. See you next time.